Hello and welcome to HoverHacks. I am Shubham. So today we are going to see how we can use APIs in JavaScript. We can use API using the fetch method. So this is the fetch, and as you can see, it accepts input, and there are some optional options also, which we'll talk about later. So before even writing the string as API endpoint, basically as a string, let's console what this fetch actually is actually returning it. So as you can see, it returns a promise. So for using the fetch, first let me add a API endpoint here, get it API endpoint, which will get the list of users. So yeah, this is the I'm using the JSON placeholder free API, which gives us the list of user. So for using, we can simply write fetch and pass the URL, and as we earlier seen that it returns a promise, so we can use .then method to handle it. Now we can returns a response. Now let's see what this response is. As we can see, it's returning headers. If you notice, there is a body, there's headers, there's okay, true, and there's also a status. Now this status 200 and okay will be useful later on. For accessing the JSON, since this API will give us a JSON, so we have to simply return response, and we have to do .json, and again this JSON will again return a promise. So that's why we have to second time again do the then, and we can simply console.log data here. I think I made some typo. As you can see, we are able to get the data. Now this is the get request. If you see in the network tab, it's a get 200, and you can see the raw response also, it's a 200. Now let's move forward and let's talk about some error handling thing. So we have again .catch method, which will handle the error. Console.log error, and let's print the error here. Now one thing to note here is fetch only handle those errors. For example, network problems, if there is some network problem, or we enter a wrong URL, something like that, some site we want to reach but it's not able to reach. But fetch doesn't handle 404 error or 500 error. For example, instead of fetching the users, we remove as. Now this is a wrong path we are requesting from. For example, if we see the network tab, refresh it. Yeah, as you can see, as I'm requesting from the wrong path, it is giving me 404 in the network tab. But when we see in the console, even though I am console logging the error, it's not printing any error here. Why? Because it doesn't by default handle, the fetch doesn't by default handles the 404 or 500 error. We have to manually handle it. So for successfully handling it, we can write if statement here, if response dot okay. Let's say if it is true, then we can return .json, else we can throw a new error. And we can also pass the status code, which is available in response.status. Now as you can see, it's now successfully printing the error. Error status code is 404. That this way we can successfully handle the error, and else we can return the JSON. This was the get. Now let's talk about the post. So in the fetch, it in the second parameter it accepts options in object, and now inside the options we have to pass the properties. For example, if we want to post something, we can simply do method which will be post, and inside body, the body we have to stringify it. We can't directly send a object here. For example, if we write, let's say this API understand this structure, so I'm sending the title, let's say it's HoverHacks, and it also accept body, and let's give ID, and also we have to pass headers, that what kind of content we are sending. So it will have a content type of application/JSON. Now if we try to send it, as you can see, it's not correctly returning us the post because we are sending a wrong body. We have to stringify it. We have to write JSON.stringify and wrap it around the parenthesis. Now let's try to run it. I need to first fix the URL. Yes. Now as you can see, this is currently the post request and it's successfully created. We can see the payload which we are sending, and I am also returning back the response from the server. Yeah. So this way we can also do the post request using the fetch method. Now let's try to do the exact same thing using async await. So right now we are using dot then, and there's another way to handle it, which is async await. So let me first comment it out. For doing async await, we have to simply append async before the function and name the function whatever we want. For example, get data, and for storing the response, we can create a variable and we can just await and do the fetch URL. Now, since this fetch URL returns a promise, we can store the data inside another variable and again await it, do the response.json object. So this will be the data. We can console log it and check it out. And let's try to call this. Let's see if it's working fine. Yeah, as you can see, we are able to successfully get the data using the async await. And for handling the errors in the async await, we can use try and catch block. So that's all in this video, friends. I guess you might have learned something new. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel, as more informational videos I am going to upload. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.